Hello, everyone. In this video, I'm going to be discussing why Democrats need to give up on Florida at this point. They need to either cut their losses because, honestly, what they're doing right now in the state of Florida for the state party, for the Democrats, it's obviously not working. They're not making enough inroads in the state, and they're actually losing the registration battle. So, for the last time I checked, it's 5.1 million more Republicans compared to only 4.8 million Democrats. So, the Republicans have a 300,000 party registration advantage. And that's not even including that NPA voters, which are independents in the state, they're breaking for the Republicans by like points usually in these elections. So it's really bad in Florida, and they're losing more and more uh, voters among the registration every month, the Democratic Party in the state. It's honestly, the Republicans are out registering the Democrats here. They're just getting a lot of Cuban voters on their side. And honestly, I think it's because DeSantis, as the governor of the state of Florida, he's made it appealing to a lot of Republicans in the Rust Belt or in New York and California to move to the state of Florida because he's pretty much branded it as a super Republican state at this point in the media. So he's pretty much made Florida a lot more of a Republican state, and it's just causing a lot of immigration from Republicans in this state. I really think there's no real path to winning Florida in a presidential election for Democrats, and I really think they should focus on a state like Texas instead of Florida. Texas is more electoral votes. It's a lot more favorable for them based on the trends there. But let's get into why Florida is pretty much a lost cause and why I think it's pretty much very certain there's to be a likely Republican state in 2024, and why Biden's making a huge mistake in trying to contest this state. And I just think it's a waste of resources and a waste of time. We'll start off with the Miami-Dade problem. So, Miami-Dade, it used to be very Democratic. I mean, for example, let's just shift it. It used to be like 62 to 37 or something like that. Hillary Clinton got a very large margin in the state of Florida in the Miami-Dade, and she still wasn't able to win the state. So it would probably produce a map similar to like this, a 1.5% Republican victory. But again, let's shift it back. Right now, I think honestly, Miami-Dade's probably going to flip in 2024. I know that's a bold take, but it did flip in the 2022 governor's race, and just the party registrations here is not helping Democrats long term. So right now, I think Miami-Dade probably goes to the Republicans by like 5 points or so. I'm probably gonna actually probably be a bit closer, but I think the Republicans get like 51 to 48 in the Miami-Dade. But already that shifts the state decently more into the Republicans' hands. Again, they'll probably get better margins in Palm Beach as well, just because that's just the trends in Florida for the Democrats to lose support. Broward, they probably lose a bit of that support as well. And that already shifts the state into likely Republican. And it's not even assuming the rural areas of Florida also go more Republican. Pinellas is definitely going to flip. Again, it'll probably be 52 to 47, I would say. Hillsborough, it'll probably get a bit closer, but I think the Democrats edge them out here by a bit. Escala, it's probably going to trend a bit more in favor of the Republicans, just by a couple points or so. Orange County as well, I'll probably get a bit more Republican. Seminole, I think this one probably flips in favor of the Republicans pretty narrowly. Duval, again, Democrats, they're not doing terrible in this region, so I still think they get this county. It's just their margin goes down a tiny bit or so. Lucha, again, Democrats will probably do a little bit worse here. Leon County as well. You'll probably do a little bit worse here. Same with Gadsden. Nearly every area, I think they're going to lose some support. But right now, that shift in all those blue counties, you could already see it's at 6.87. That's not even including counties like Collier, which will probably get more Republican. Something like that. Hendry County, again, would shift a bit more in favor of Republicans. Monroe also would probably get a bit more Republican. Uh, Polk County, again, the Republicans just have a lot of counties here where they could just improve upon. So again, it just gets getting worse and worse for the Democrats here. And just the fact that they're losing support in Miami-Dade and probably going to lose the county in 2024 kind of just makes Florida unwinnable because already by now it's 7 points in favor of the Republicans, this map. So this county would probably shift a bit more. Let's just go to the shifts. Keep shifting in favor of the Republicans because, again, they're just doing better in these rural areas outside of Florida. Again, it's going to be very tough for Democrats to kind of counteract this Republican wave that's pretty much hit Florida. Again, it's kind of just getting worse and worse as we keep factoring in the Republican trends here. Maybe the Democrats in other areas in Florida, they won't do as bad as I'm showing in like the urban counties. Maybe they do a bit better in like Hillsborough, Orange County, Osceola, Broward. Broward actually kind of shifted more in favor of the Democrats, so let me just fix that a little bit. We should just keep it about the same for now. Yeah, we'll keep it down to that. But still, even if I fix that, it's still really not enough. Because you look at the state here and it's already 7.22% Republican. I'm not even including the panhandle part of Florida, which just generates the Republicans so much raw votes that honestly, every election it gets more Republican, which is why the Democrats keep having to win these urban areas by more and more in the state of Florida, which just hurts their chances. But it gets them like so much raw votes, especially up here. So even if I shift all these areas up here more and more in favor of the Republicans, because that's just what's happening every election. The rural areas are getting more Republican, the urban areas are getting more Democratic, but that's really not the case in Florida, especially with Miami-Dade shifting more and more in favor of the Republicans. What's going on here? But the GOP will definitely get a bigger margin out of this area here. So already that's 7.55%. So where are the Democrats going to make the inroads here? They're underperforming Miami-Dade and probably going to lose the county. And they could even lose it worse than what I'm showing here. It could even be like 5 points. Let's say it's hypothetically that much. Let's shift it. I hate the shifting tool sometimes. Sometimes it just doesn't work. But let's say they lose Miami-Dade by like 5 or so. That would just shift the state to like 8% Republican. So honestly, Democrats need to cut their losses. I don't see there's a winning formula in the state of Florida at this point. Already, I'm trying to be like nice with the Democrats here, but they're probably going to lose Florida by at least 8% or so. Just judging by the numbers and the registration numbers going terribly for Democrats every month in the state. So Florida's a lost cause. They should focus on a state like Texas instead, which is actually winnable in the future. Sometimes states shift away from your party rapidly, and Florida is just one of those states for the Democrats long term. So at the end of the day, Democrats need to give up on Florida. It's not winnable anymore, and they should just focus on a state like Texas instead, which is a more electoral votes anyway. So it's probably a better strategic plan to do that instead. But I'll see you guys in the next video.